All right. It's a pleasure to be up here, but you guys might not like what I have to say, and that's okay. I'm here to make you uncomfortable. I'm here to make you question what we've been doing, and it's been long overdue. And that's why I have the Grim Reaper up there, because that to me is a symbol of what's going on, and if we don't do anything about this, it's going to get much, much worse. We all talk about the major problems we have with staffing, with properly getting the right people on the bus. We aren't getting paid enough by the bill payers. There's not a good work-life balance, as we heard Michael talk about earlier. So it's, in my opinion, that is all due to the pervasive influence of the estimator role. And it's time for it to change. So this is us. We're sitting on the train tracks. We're just watching, reading the newspaper. Everything's nice. It's a beautiful day in that photo. Everything looks good. But we're not looking at the freight train that's coming behind us. And that freight train is reality. This is a role that if you go on Indeed or any job posting site right now, you will see probably hundreds of estimator roles waiting to be filled. It's unfortunately plagued with high turnover, and we've become very complacent to it. And I don't know why. I don't know why we're so comfortable with the fact that it's not working. So let's take a little trip back in time. That's a 1993 Ford Taurus. I was 10 years old when that car came out, and very basic piece of automotive equipment, but that was the best-selling car in 1993. Did it require any calibration? No. It had maybe a cassette player, and that was about it. And it got you to and from where you needed to go, and a lot of Americans saw a lot of value in that car. Fast forward to 2023, and the Tesla in the photo there, that's now the #1 selling car of this year. And you can't take the same mindset with assessing damage to that vehicle, understanding what it's made out of, with the same lens that we've been using for the past 30 years. Same with the trucks. That's a 1993 Ford F-150. Again, the best-selling truck. Everybody knows the F-150 has been a great truck for very many, many years. I'm a GM fan, and I hate to admit that, so that's is what it is. But again, you look at that truck, and it was very utilitarian. There's a lot of those still on the road. Now you have the 2023 F-150, which is aluminum, and it's riveted and bonded. Huge leaps in technology. That has the blind spot monitoring system. It can guide you backing up your trailer and all these other features. And again, the market has dictated these changes in automobiles, but still the estimator role persists the way it has. So some of you guys in the room, I'm sure, are old enough to remember the Mitchell books. When I was an adjuster, I got taught how to write a manual estimate before we went through software. So I'm familiar with doing the manual calculations for deducting overlap and so on and so forth. But again, that's a very old school rudimentary way of doing it. Can you write an estimate like that today? Absolutely. But now we have this. We have heat mapping. We have AI that's taking the stage and trying to revolutionize the industry. And a lot of people believe that that is the modern solution to the problem, which I disagree with. Will it save time? Maybe, but that's not addressing the true problem. So I bring up the two Bobs. For those of you that are familiar with office space, this is a really good example, because this is telling, I used to have this as a photo in my office, and underneath I wrote below that I wrote, what is it that you really do here? And put that into your mind for a second when you think about estimators, because I think we have really lost sight as an industry of what really is going on when they're in your shop and what they're doing. So it really is an onion, and it goes very deep. So I'm not going to read these all off, but I have witnessed plenty of estimators in my own dealings for the past 24 years being in this industry, and this probably doesn't even scratch the surface of all the things that they are doing. Is this bringing value to your companies? Maybe, maybe not. Is this the #1 thing that an estimator should be working on? I disagree with that. There's other things that could bring a lot more value to the table. An estimator also, typically they're working 10 to 12-hour days. Maybe a month end, they're working a 12-plus hour day trying to get stuff prepped to close. They may be on different bonus plans. It's really just become a catch-all position in most modern body shops. I challenge all of you to take a seat and really watch what is going on and what they're doing throughout the day. Shadow them. Take notes. And you'll be surprised. There's probably even more on here than what I'm talking about. So Really, when you think about what's all going on, this should be of no surprise to anybody. People are burned out. Nobody, we can't get paid very well. If we're not getting paid very well, we can't pay technicians very well, which means they're not going to want to work for us. We suffer with negotiating for labor rates being paid fairly. There's all kinds of reasons far beyond this. So this should not really be a surprise to anybody, but I feel a little bit like Michael Burry when he was predicting, the housing crash with the mortgage situation that was going on. It's not too late to fix these problems, but, to me, I see a lot of this. I see Linus dragging the dirty old blanket on the ground because it's comfortable. It feels good. This role has persisted in every body shop pretty much across this country for decades upon decades. But is it really doing what we want it to do? So I read magazine when I was a kid, and this is an old comic from that magazine. And I think this really highlights the point that we're not really paying attention to what they're going through. There's been many times where I've gone to industry training, and I like to sit down and listen to what estimators have to say. And I don't always share that I'm a manager when I'm in these trainings. And at lunchtime, that's the best time to hear how people really feel about their job, because the instructor usually walks away, and it's just maybe 6 to 8 people sitting at a table talking about life in the shop. And it normally turns into a giant bitch fest about everything that's wrong and how they wish they could do something different. And I think this sums that up perfectly. So I say this a lot to a lot of my cohorts in the industry, is take the fireman's hat off, throw it away. It's an old, ancient habit that we have because we are just too consumed by what's going on day to day, and it needs to go in the trash. So this is, for those that know A Clockwork Orange, sometimes this is painful to think about. Sometimes this is not, some of you may be thinking, Andrew's off his rocker. I don't even know why he's talking about this. But there is a way through this, and it really comes down to you being dissatisfied with what's going on. Shinjeo Shingo was one of the founders of the Toyota production system, and this is a system that I use in my shop that I've had a lot of success with. A lot of people feel it's very intimidating, but I can assure you it's not. And if you come tomorrow to see my full presentation, I can outline a complete system for how to separate out the estimator role and banish it from your shop, and it doesn't cost you anything. I'm just a regular shop manager. I don't have any incentive to teach you any of this because, in a way, this is my competitive advantage. But I feel so strongly about this that I can't be the only guy doing this anymore. And I genuinely feel this will bring a lot of positive change to the industry. So hopefully I'll see some of you guys, if not most of you, tomorrow. Thank you very much.